Please be seated. Excellencies, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and dear soon-to-be graduates of the 59th Diploma course with the name Jina Mahsa Amini, and also those who join us on live stream. What a journey for you. 1 year of pure joy and some work. It is one of the great moments at the end of each academic year when I say my welcome to you, the students, who will be in a few moments become graduates of the Diplomatic Academy, to your families and friends, to our faculty, to our staff, our sponsors, and all our cooperation partners. It's an honor and a great pleasure for me to welcome you for a very specific reason also, because here at the Diplomatische Akademie, École des Hautes Études Internationales, Vienna School of International Studies, I am a graduate myself of the diploma course, and I'm academic director of this course. I do hope you enjoyed this year as much as I did, and especially the part what studying here at this school means. It means living and working with people of very different backgrounds, with very different experiences, but with one objective. The objective to take part in the future of international relations, work in a field where you think you can have not only a career chance, but where you can make an impact, that things get better, and we certainly need that. I hope that you perceive this as a real asset to work with so different people, and that it broadens your horizons and your mind. We need that. You do understand, and I have to mention this because we are in the middle of a war in Europe, that I hope we could give you this idea that the world is not all about narratives. It's not all about who can win the battle of narratives with fake or not fake news. And I hope that you learned somehow that the president of Russia is not right with his narrative that Russia was threatened or invaded by someone else. And I hope that you understood that Mr. Prigozhin is not right when he said he just did a march for justice towards Moscow. These sort of things happen in our time. And I'm sure you have the experience now that working against these sort of narratives is something very, very important. You are a diverse group, and that's a good thing, I have to say. And I say this every year because it's true every year. You are 18 altogether, 18 students from 9 different countries, 3 continents. I'm happy to say 13 female, but also 5 male, sorry. Your variety of studies and your background is really diverse, and certainly many of you have a law background, but also theater studies, engineering, literature, management, translation, and so on. And as far as I know, 1 historian. There she is. Proud that you're with us also. I do hope that we could provide you with the perspectives for the future which we all do not know what it will look like. And it will be partly your job to work on that. We have this very strange motto, educating global leaders since 1754. This is an obligation for our school, but also for you. It shouldn't be bare on your shoulders too much. But it means that there is a tradition behind it, the tradition of working in the international field. Next generation is with us. But it also says educating global leaders. So we expect you to work with an international mind, with an open mind, and with the chance actually to use everything that we could provide you also in the career link services and with the chance that we gave you when you had contact with companies, with international organizations here in Vienna. I hope you had the feeling that Vienna is a good place for such a year of international studies. And what you learned here, you will hear from the faculty a lot about how academic work is important. And as a director of this institution, I fully support my faculty in all they say about logos and the necessity also to consider things rationally. But life is sometimes different. You know it maybe as well as I do. There is always this emotional aspect that you have to take into account. And I guess I remember correctly that I said at the beginning, don't forget about emotional intelligence. Don't forget about it. You can't read it in books how to learn it, but don't forget to apply it as much as possible. But I thank the faculty for all the work they did with you. And in the diploma course, it's always a special thing also to say thank you to our language departments, English, German, and French. So a special thank goes to our dedicated language departments. Thank you very much. But I also would like to thank, because this is a school where it's a family-like situation. 18 students in your course only. I want to thank the course speakers and the DASI, the Student Initiative, and because you maintained the contact not only within the group, but with the other groups and with the staff, with us, with our committed community here. So thank you for the cooperation. Many of you were active in student societies, in student activities. You were able to practice in your DASICon conference on deglobalization, with a question mark, I would say. It's a very timely topic. You wrote for your magazine Polemics, which I highly appreciate, that you get to understand how important it is also to communicate with all the means that we have. So I always say, use social media also all the time. Be careful, because you have to understand it can go around the globe, and it does sometimes go around the globe, does go around the globe, but use it. And what I especially like to say, that you helped us to revive the ball of the Diplomatic Academy, which because of COVID was for a few years a forlorn matter. We couldn't do it. But now we live again in a different world. So that's also because of you, because you are already now student ambassadors of this community. You celebrated also with our Professor Rowe the Chinese New Year of the Rabbit, as I understand. Some of you went to the Pride Parade recently with the DA and Diplomats for Equality. Thank you for doing this. You went to Brussels as a DA delegation. Some of you went to Geneva. 2 of you will go to Israel. I'm not mentioning all the things that you will do even now when the year finishes. And you had the chance also in this year to attend, sometimes in this hall, leaders from various countries to get to know also the practical side of what it means to be in the public and to be in an international surrounding. A little bit higher than up here, you had also your events of which the director is better off not to know too much about them. To the families, it's called Tipsy Weasel extravaganza, what they have been doing all the time, as I hear. And tomorrow you are invited to our legendary Sommerfest. So I mention all this because it was not only about the studying together, but also about traveling together, celebrating together, actually living together. Keep that bond, not only among yourselves, but also with our institution. We would like you very much to have you on this board of a ship, more or less. We would not be able to do all that, what we do, without the help of various groups of people, and I have to express my gratefulness. It's first of all the faculty of the Diplomatic Academy who taught and guided you through this academic year. I always have my problems with some members of the faculty because they say, no, there is a 2-year academic program and there is a 1-year diploma program, and they feel that they have to concentrate on the 2-year master program here. I always tell them, you have to commit yourselves more to the group of the diploma program because they have only this 1 year. They have this 1 year for the postgraduate studies, the 2-year, and for them it's even more difficult because we want them not only to have this academic, but also the practical side very much in the center of the work they do. And I know that you manage even that some of them want to continue in the 2nd year of the master program, which shows that I'm not always successful in convincing you that it's good to invest in them, also the ability to have the practical side very much in their mind. Let me but also thank another group of people, and this is our sponsors, private persons, graduate themselves. One of them is with us, and I would like to give a round of applause to Herbert Kort, who is a long-time supporter of this academy. Herbert, thank you very much. Just to mention this, he is an alumnus also of the Diplomatic Academy, and you can see when you're an alumni and you have the ability, you can also become a sponsor in the future. So I wish you all the best in your career. But there are many organizations, banks, institutions who help us. That about 30% of our students overall get some sort of financial support. And last but not least, I will mention your parents, your friends. Many of them are here. Without their help, many of you could not have been here at this place, and you would have been poorer during your studies in every sense of the word. I hope you had an interesting and rewarding, a productive and enjoyable year. A short year, after all. It just began. I'm sure you remember the inauguration. We are proud of you, of this diverse group of 18 talented and passionate young people. And we look back on a long history. I already mentioned the year 54, and you're not part of this glorious tradition. But I ask you not to think about tradition so much, but think about what it means, how you can have an impact on what you do in the future. This place is not about, and I'm a historian myself, it's not about history teaching. It's about trying to help you to shape something we call the future. We need history for that. That has become very clear in the last few years, I would say. You will leave here as DA alumni soon, but we hope you will stay an active part of our community, of your alma mater, with a network of alumni from now 120 countries. And please join the club DA and one of its local chapters. We are proud that we have more than 11 or 12 chapters around the globe because our students are everywhere. And I give you just one example of what's possible. In the informal peace talks that took place a week ago in Denmark, in Copenhagen. The G7 countries tried to invoke also the support of those so-called neutral countries which did not take side in the conflict, in the war of Russia against Ukraine. One of them, an important one, is Brazil. And there was a representative from Brazil going to these informal peace talks to Copenhagen. And this representative was a person who is now the foreign policy advisor of President Lula and the former defense and foreign minister of Brazil. His name is Amorim, and he is a proud alumnus of this institution. He is in the Hall of Fame of the Diplomatic Academy, and he was one of our inauguration speakers on our celebration days. So there is a lot that can be achieved. It's up to you, certainly also to those around you. So please stay connected, and that's a challenge I pose on you. Go into the world as a responsible and active citizen in this ever-changing world. And don't believe those who say, actually the war in Ukraine is another example that diplomacy failed. Unfortunately, it was not diplomacy which failed, it was those who are responsible in politics which failed to accept that diplomacy can be helpful in all situations, in all international situations. And we see now, every day in this war, but also in other conflicts and wars, that the way out is always a diplomatic way. Diplomacy is at the latest needed at the day one after the war. So there's a lot to do. I'm not mentioning all the conflicts around you. I'm not talking about climate change, how you can work in these fields. I know that there is someone among you who will work in this field in Austria. I'm also not talking about all the other crises that we have to master. And the good thing is actually, in the group that you represent, is that it's different from maybe 30, 40 years ago, when this school was mainly educating people for the diplomatic services, mainly also the Austrian diplomatic services. Today, it's educating people who work in international relations. That's something totally different. So that's what I ask you to do, the work for international relations in whichever field you work, be it multilateral, international, national, or if you want to become an activist in an NGO. We all should be activists, and I don't have to talk too much about this. So I wish every one of you all the best for your future. And please keep this habit of mind of this school, which is a liberal, open one, which demands that we listen to others, that we try to find solutions, peaceful solutions, in a world where we need this sort of solutions much more maybe than it used to be. And how fast things can change. Is this room, for instance, does show you this. 2 years ago, the room was empty. Nobody was allowed to come here. It was locked down. Sometimes we had a few people allowed here with distance markers, actually. And now, we are 29th of June, 2023, and hardly anybody wants to think about the pandemic, the consequences, what it meant to a lot of people. So that's how fast things change in our days. That makes it maybe for all of us more difficult. But I already sent out a tweet about your graduation. And I said, watch out for the next generation. You worked hard for this moment, so please enjoy this ceremony. Thank you very much.
Dear Director, dear Deputy Director, distinguished guests, colleagues, and given that this is your event, most of all, dear students, on this special day, I have the privilege, on behalf of the faculty, to say a few words about your achievements. You have worked hard and you are graduating today. This is an accomplishment that you should really be proud of. Let me start with saying a few personal words. So I'm now here for 3 years in my capacity as the professor of international economics. And until today, I have been very successful in shirking away from holding graduation speeches. So this is my first graduation speech, and it's something that economists are not used to do. There's no PowerPoint, there's no blackboard, there's no formulas, no graphs, nothing, just a few festive words. So I thought about what could I say in the next couple of minutes. And just to give you a comparison, today in the morning, I've listened to the graduation speech from Professor Kornprobst, and that involved castles, knights, shields, swords, Lady Jenny, and so on. So this is not going to be as creative as the MICE graduation speech, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I try to first give you our view, the faculty view, on why we think that the DLG program is so unique. And then secondly, unfortunately, I have to say a few words about my discipline, economics, and why it very often conflicts with good politics. So let me start. So here, we are here today at our Festsaal, and behind us is the DA's courtyard. And I have my office, and I can look from my office out of the window, and I very often see how lively it is. I can experience the vibrancy of this place firsthand by looking out of the window. I see you playing table tennis, sitting together, laughing together, studying together. So this is really first-hand experience of the DA, of the campus feeling, and I'm also grateful for this. I have to say that in the summer when it's very warm, I have to open the window, so I had to invest in noise-canceling headphones to also be productive and prepare the lectures. That is the official reason for this investment from myself. The unofficial is that we have among our professors one who has the habit to laugh very loudly, and that's the second reason why I had to invest in these headphones. But I think these activities that I witness is really evidence of the DA not only being an institution of higher learning, but also a community. And as the director already said, really hope that although you graduated today, or you are going to graduate, that you will still be part of our community in the future. That said, I think the future looks bright for you. The DLG program is the oldest at the DA, and it certainly has withstood the test of times. So for many, many decades, DLG graduates have performed admirably well in the working world. Our Hall of Fame is full of them, ranging from presidents via ministers, to CEOs, from high-ranking civil servants to those standing the ground in private business. This is not to put any pressure on you. The root of the excellent performance of DLG graduates might lie in the design of the program. Something about you getting a very good education in 4 academic disciplines and 3 languages. You are now versatile in European law, international law, European politics, international trade and finance, and eras of world history, and on how to express yourself well in English, German, and French. Let me stress that I have enjoyed teaching you the fundamentals of economics. You've been very active. You've been much more active than your peers from the MICE program. I hope no one is here. You asked a lot of questions, and given your non-economist background, I would dub this question to be out-of-the-box questions. But sometimes they made me also rethink and having more thoughts about how we as economists approach problems. It gave me another perspective, and that is something very good, that you ask these critical questions. What I also like about this, your program is your final presentation, where you are assigned on short notice a role play. I remember once I assigned a DLG student to take on the role of the deputy director of the Austrian Institute for Economic Research, WIFO. And his task was to explain to journalists why inflation is so high, to Austrian journalists, which is a very complex task. But he did very well. He was very convincing, and he was very enthusiastic. And I remember after the presentation, he came to us, and we took a picture together with the director, and then we asked him, what are your future plans? And then he said, yeah, well, you know, I now played this role, and I've just seen on LinkedIn a high-level vacancy at that institute, so I applied. And this resembles for me the good spirit, the good attitude that I always see among DLG students. We don't know whether his application has been successful or not, but I think the institute got a very interesting job application letter. That said, let me now turn to a more serious case. I want to say a few more words on economics. One of the great ironies of my discipline is this: we do not need to understand economics in order to experience economics. And I'm telling you this now after you went through my courses. What do I mean by this? Your everyday life consists of voluntary exchange. You invest your time to study here at the DA, giving up other opportunities like already starting a job or studying somewhere else or having more spare time. You are also participating in the goods and service market. You go to the supermarket and buy food. Sometimes you buy drinks. You also sell goods. Yeah? You might sell your old econ books on eBay or on any other platform. You're also part of the financial markets. Everyone has a savings account, banking account. You maybe have also a savings plan, so your bank invests in the stock market. So what this means is that your everyday life consists of dealing with trade-offs, opportunity costs, and prices. Now you might think, yeah, right, so why did we have to study economics? And the short answer is this: although economics can be experienced without understanding it, we might need to understand it in order to keep the benefits from freedom of exchange. What is this, benefits from freedom of exchange? It means that because nobody forces you to make an exchange, to sell your books or to buy something, we can assume that everyone benefits from the exchange, the buyer and the seller. And if you sum up all these benefits, individual benefits in the society, you will get a huge number. We call this that economics is a positive sum game. Everyone benefits from the freedom of exchange. But the freedom of exchange exists only under an institutional frameworks, under the law, and which are shaped by the institutions. And this is now where you come into play. Because I had a look at your yearbooks, and therefore I know that many of you will end up in an institution. And those institutions are not led by economists, but by people that are influenced by politics. And if you think about it, politics is a completely different game. It's not a positive sum game. If one political party increases influence and votes, it takes this influence and these votes away from another party. So politics has completely different rules. And sometimes I have to say that politicians can be short-sighted, maximizing votes, striving for influence, and ignoring long-run effects. But these are the things that economists worry about. If you think about it, the way economics works in our society is basically that benefits are concentrated very often on small, well-organized groups, while dispersing the costs to the general, maybe ignorant public, the taxpayer. And this is not good economics. Good economics, by contrast, would concentrate costs on decision makers and disperse the benefits widely over the population. In case you think this was now too long and too much about economics, I would like you to remember only this. More often than not, good economics conflicts with good politics under democracy. And we hence need students that go into the public sector to remember this. We need students that do think out of the box. We need students that remember the things that they have learned here at the DA in order for all of us to experience better economics in the future. Again, no pressure on you. And with that, I want to conclude. On behalf of the faculty, I once again congratulate you to your degree. You graduated from a multidisciplinary program that offered you a wide range of perspectives through our courses, but also through the many events and seminars held at the DA. I really hope that you stay in contact with us, be it on social media or by visiting one of our many events from time to time. Our Summerfest is also a good occasion to connect or reconnect with former alumni. Go out there in the world, remember the things that I've told you today, and make us proud. Thank you.
We now call the graduates of the 59th Diploma program. Pajzer Abrahamian, Armenia. Aren Arakelian, Armenia. Miriam Noel Sherkawi, Austria. Ginevra Fontana, Italy. Chiara Futter, Austria, Italy. Nikolaus Gittel, Austria. Anna Gudadze, Georgia. Amrita Heger, Austria. Sarah Hirzer, Austria. Natalie Lakish, Austria, Lebanon. Anna Matsulewicz, Poland. Konrad Gauthier Mbatsogo, Cameroon. Sarah Oberreiter, Austria. Justina Retzk, Austria. Milana Sladojevic, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Nikolaus Steinböck, Austria. Jennifer Maria Zeller, Austria.
Dear Director Ambassador Brix, dear Deputy Director Schubert, dear Administration Board and professors, proud family and friends, fellow graduates. Today marks a significant milestone in our lives, a day of celebration, reflection, and anticipation. As we stand here on the brink of a new chapter, I think we all can't help but feel a certain sense and surge of emotions, a mix of nostalgia for the moments we share and excitement for the adventures that lie ahead. Looking back at our journey, it's clear that each of us has overcome challenges, faced countless exams, and weathered the storms of doubt. But through it all, we persevered, demonstrating resilience, dedication, and the power of determination. On behalf of the whole 59th Diploma program, we would really like to take this opportunity to say thank you and how very grateful we are. Grateful for having learned so much from analyzing historical conflicts in French to negotiating mock treaties. Grateful for having learned so many valuable skills and experienced so many wonderful events, from vineyard walks to inspiring talks with ambassadors and other high-ranking professionals. Thank you, dear Jenny, and your incredible team for always making the impossible possible, always having an open ear, and organizing a multitude of trips from Brussels to Kurdistan to Israel. We would like to extend that wholehearted thank you to Mr. Jung and Mr. Nettig for your hands-on approach and for organizing the Christmas extravaganza and all the other perfectly organized events. Thank you to our professors for always encouraging us to do our very best and achieve excellency at all times. And thank you to the professors of our language programs who have gone above and beyond by showing so much dedication, patience, and above all, high-quality language courses. You never stopped believing in us, even when we thought we would never manage to pass official language courses and certificates or Professor Badel's History of Diplomacy class in French. And to our families and friends, thank you for the unwavering support you have provided throughout our journey. Without your encouragement, understanding, and sacrifices, none of this would have been possible. Thank you all from our 59th DLG.
Director Ambassador Brix, Deputy Director Schubert, members of the Administration Board, professors and teachers, dear fellow students, friends, family. To begin with, I can only wholeheartedly agree with the words of gratitude expressed just now by Natalie. Truly, thank you. Thank you to the entire team of the Diplomatic Academy for all their efforts, support, and valuable teachings. In this year at the DA that simply flew by, we indeed learned a lot in terms of academics. We learned a lot ranging from history, law, economics, to new technologies, diplomatic affairs, international relations, and crises all over the world. Not to forget about the language classes in English, German, and French. But we also learned a lot that cannot be taught with or captured in books. How to help and support each other at the DA and beyond. How to laugh despite pending deadlines and exams. How to quote former Austrian chancellors in dire times. How to dance the night away and still show up to class. Perhaps not always on time, but we did show up. Usually, we did show up. We got to know each other, worked together, went for drinks and food, became colleagues and friends. I truly am grateful for this extraordinary year and for every single one of you DLGs. Nati, our dear course speaker, thank you so much for your fierce outspokenness and your unwavering support, your dry humor, and for showing us how to make the best both of days and nights. Sarah, our dear course speaker, thank you for always having an open ear for us, spreading smiles, and showing us the importance of at least one banana a day, either in Vienna, Styria, or on the train in between. Konrad, Monsieur le Président, merci pour toujours partager des perspectives uniques et être prêt pour des blagues n'importe quand. Anna, Frau Georgische Botschafterin in Spe, deine Eleganz, Liebenswürdigkeit und Intelligenz suchen ihresgleichen. Und ganz klar, du liebst Österreich und Österreich liebt die. Miri, my fellow Western Austrian. What better person to despair and laugh about exams with? Your tight hugs and open nature made everyone feel at home. Dankeschön for all your help, voice messages, and Vorarlbergness. Aaron, no matter what, you were the at times much needed calm of the storm of the DLGs. Schnorakalution for sharing your vast diplomatic experience and kindness with us. Nicolausi, le maître du français. Your calmness and loyal humor is what lightened up every French lesson on diplomatic history and spritzer rounds at Café Wodna. And, by the way, kudos for completing at least 500 credits more than needed. Anna, our well-read Polish multi-talent, your honesty and supportiveness have truly been appreciated. Dziękuję for all the wonderful conversations and moments together. Justina, where is she? There. In dir findet man stets eine hilfsbereite Freundin, gute Gesprächspartnerin und weltoffene Kulinarikerin, egal zu welcher Uhrzeit. Danke, shukran. Ginevra, la donna forte d'Italia. Grazie for being your inspiring self, for creating the Società Italiana, and for making this year's DA Ball something truly special. Nico, Mr. Phrasal Verbs, and probably president-to-be, your smartness and brain are truly admirable, as are your sense of humor and your taste of wine. Amrita, ton talent pour des langues et ton vivant intérêt pour tout sujet imaginable est magnifique. Merci pour être toi, et merci pour avoir égayé nos journées avec ton chien Zangi. Milana, also Salzburgerin. Mit dir wird's nie fort, mit bosnischen Wurzeln, by the way. Du bist ein Unikat im besten Sinne und inspirierst mit deinem Fleiß, Stil und Humor. Hvala dafür. Peitzar Emil Clooney 2.0, you brought class and kindness to Austria all the way from Armenia. Thank you for being there for us and ready for adventures if they're within 20 meters of the DA. Sarah, you deserve all A's in all categories. Academia, legal stuff, degree of fun to be around, and I am sure you will make it far. Should you unexpectedly need a plan B, though, I am sure you will always have a future in wine tasting. Chiara, la madre di DLG. Grazie for taking such good care of your adult children, for being a voice of reason and a great host for drinks and lunch. One last honorable mention of a colleague left behind at the IIA, but not yet lost. Charlie, you were sorely missed during the last term, which already says enough about how great of a person you are. All the very best in advance for your graduation next year, and make sure you reserve 17 tickets for your graduation for your original DLGs, and order non-frozen pizza. 18 people, only 15 different names with 2 Annas, 2 Nicolauses, and 2 Sarahs. Over 10 different nationalities, even more cultures, and 1 academic year in 1 city. What are the odds? I am glad we beat those odds, and I wish for us all to beat future odds as well, whatever they may be. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Dankeschön.
Hello, everyone. Natalie and I, on behalf of the whole DLGs, just wanted to thank again the administration, the rectorate, and all of the language departments for everything you have done for us. So first of all, I would like to ask someone from the language department to come over, maybe Bernadette. faculty or rectorate. Thank you very much. And last but not least, of course, the administration, Jenny. We would like to thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you. Thank you also to the teams. Thank you.
Please be seated just to give a big round of applause to our musicians, the brass quartet of the University of Vienna Orchestra. Dear graduates, first time I may say graduates to you, you made it. The curtain falls, the play begins. Enjoy this day.